Well, we're just getting the news now that Alan Gross has been freed in Cuba and that he's been put on a plane to come back to the United States. There had been quite a lot of speculation that something was in the works. Mr. Gross has been in jail for 5 years and has been quite an impediment to any possibility for the United States to improve relations with Cuba. But in the past couple of weeks, there had been some suggestion that things were moving. The only realistic option for getting Mr. Gross out of jail has long been said to be a prisoner swap with 3 Cubans jailed here on espionage grounds. So that may be what the deal was. But what we know now is that Mr. Gross has been released on humanitarian grounds and he should be back in the United States shortly.
Barbara, we also said that Raul Castro is expected to make an important announcement about relations between the two countries. Of course, relations have been tense for many, many years.
Well, yes, since the revolution of 1959, when led by Fidel Castro, which then became a socialist revolution allied to the Soviet Union. So you've had hostile relations since that time, aggravated by the Cold War. The United States imposed an economic embargo on Cuba. It has also placed Cuba on its list of states that support terrorism. So it has had a real effect on the Cuban economy. Then you have a huge community of Cuban exiles that took refuge in the United States, many of them virulently anti-Castro, and they launched various efforts over the past decades to try to assassinate the president, to try to undermine the Cuban government, some of them supported by the United States. So the relations between the two countries have been very tense. They have, having said that, been cyclical. Under different administrations, there have been moves to improve ties. There has been an agreement to allow travel, a certain amount of limited travel between Cuba and the United States. There have been times when they've gotten very close to actually resuming diplomatic relations. But under President Obama, that looked as if it was going to happen because circumstances had become more favorable. But the detention of Mr. Gross was seen as something that was a key obstacle to actually really changing U.S. policy, whatever the approach might be. So now I think when Mr. Gross arrives back in the United States, when Mr. Castro makes his announcement, all the questions are going to be whether this is a harbinger of more to come.